Welcome, everyone. It is time for yet another Super Academy Kickstarter live stream. I am joined by some amazing people. We have Alex and Jacob, who are going to sketch the superheroes that you pitched to us. And Ben and I, Ben's going to run the stream. And also, Ben and I will kind of pitch the powers and backgrounds and all with input from these two as well. It'll be a collaborative effort to make heroes. You tell us. You can either just say a list of powers or a name. You can be as vague as you want and let us fill in the blanks if you want. Have fun with it. There, underneath the description of the stream, there are some pledge levels because we are running a Kickstarter. Yes, this is fun, and that is one of the reasons we're doing it. But ultimately, we would like to make more Super Academy, and to do that, we need your money. There's the sales pitch. But so for $10, you can pitch us a superhero, and we'll sketch it and draw it. For $20, right, we'll scan that at the end. We're going to scan the ones at certain pledge levels in with a scanner and put them on a gallery online to look. So if you pledge $20, you can see your scanned hero. For $50, we'll mention it in the show if we get funded. Yep. So maybe in the news scroll, if we do another news feature or something, we'll work it in. We'll work it into the story. Pretty cool. And if you pledge $200, we will put your character. If you want to see the next Fracture or Dapper Dan, those are two characters that came out of an event like this last time. And Slothmaster. So we put 3 in last time. So we can make it work. We're not saying it'll be a main character, but they'll be in the show. So with that being said, do we have anyone in the chat ready to go yet, Ben?
Not yet.
Not yet. So I'm just literally talking to nobody.
No. People are watching.
Oh, people are in the chat. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's what I meant.
Well, yeah, I meant no suggestions in the chat.
Yeah. I'm just screaming into the ether like an emo punk band rocker.
So yeah, if you have any,
if you just want to give us the name of a hero or just describe their powers, and we can come up with a name too.
Yeah. And let us know if you make a donation, and obviously we can see if you actually do. Yeah. But we will guarantee we'll put you the top of the list.
Ultimately, this is for us to hopefully reach our funding goal and make more Super Academy for you, the masses.
While we're waiting for suggestions to come through here, I want to briefly hype Alex Fukui, our wonderful illustrator here today. You can check out his work at alexfukuidesign.com. Is that correct?
It's just alexfukui.com.
Just Alex Fukui, okay. The branding thing, I guess. So, yeah,
it's
Alex Fukui. His name should be down below in the description, so if you want to check it out, please do so. It's very kind of him to join us today and help us draw, because my drawings are not very good in comparison.
Oh.
So,
that's not fair.
Yeah.
You do some good drawing.
I do some okay drawings. I do some kind of gestural drawings, and then when I get to the hands and feet, I just way to the next drawing. So
we all do that sometimes.
Yeah. That's usually how it goes.
You at least attempt to draw feet?
Yeah. I try. Sometimes it works.
And you typically make room for female characters to have organs and spines.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's good.
And I have yet to see you draw a single thigh bandolier yet.
Okay, thigh bandolier, that came from making practical superhero costumes.
Challenge accepted, I guess.
Or are those called Thandaliers? Or is that a character from the Lord of the Rings?
Right. Yeah.
Behold Thandalier as he rides towards Gondor.
But I never see
I'm Thandalier, son of Bandolier.
There's so many pockets and holes and areas, and then there's nothing in them though. I never see them utilized. So it's
there's stuff with tissue paper to get that cool aesthetic look.
So we have one about an idea, Blue Dragon 5. How about a female history teacher who can time travel named Professor Chronos?
Well, you didn't leave me. You gave the name and powers. Leave us something.
Okay.
You got it, Alex.
I do.
All right.
Well,
I'm gonna doodle some.
Even gender and everything. Literally, don't give us that much information. That takes the fun out of it.
Hold on. Well, actually, there's a lot we have to decide right now. Is the rules of time travel, because
they're whatever convenient for the plot at the time.
No, we're gonna have consistent rules.
No, because time travel does not work. As soon as you change something in the past, you change the future. So it's whatever works for the plot. Because We need consistency in storytelling, aka telling a good story. I don't. I mean, I think tweed. I envision this character wearing a lot of tweed. Potentially. Maybe with a cool like utility belt that has all kinds of things you can need and where you travel. Like there's probably water purification tablets and ways to make fire, and something that has star charts, depending on so you can, or a device that you can look up at the starry sky and know what time it is after you time travel. And go, oh, it's 1847 because the North Star or whatever is in this location in relation to that.
What if we made it so like you time travel, but because it's history, so you're like a phantom in the past, though, so you can't actually change anything.
You can just observe.
Yeah, so it's like you're kind of like a transparent ghost.
Okay, so other than documenting things and getting history right, how is this person a superhero?
You can figure out every murder.
And so if it's a 2,000-year-old murder, you prosecute whom or who?
I mean, you don't have to go 2,000. People still want to know who Jack the Ripper was.
So this doesn't seem very superhero, and this sounds a supernatural procedural TV show. This is like CSI Ghostmaker or something like.
I mean,
or CSI Ghost Protocol.
I mean,
which is like combining a video.
Mission Impossible.
I mean, it seems like CSI is just gonna make a superhero at some point. It's becoming that ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's more crime procedural. I don't know if that skill set suits kind of the comedic world we've set up with Super Academy with some real stuff. Just observes. I mean, unless Dark Cop just makes it's like she can't even do anything. She just tells us what happened in the past, and half of it's in books already. Here, I've created an algorithm on my computer that shows all the things that we already know that she can tell us by looking.
All right. So here's one, from Beatrice.
Just give us a name or a power.
Del Falco. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. Well, here's just a name. Hero who has antlers.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
That's it.
I'm good with that.
That's a creative nugget. That is not a railroad.
Yeah.
So, not that railroading's, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not as fun. So, with antlers, all right.
Yeah. And they ask what is their backstory
or powers. I'll keep drawing PK until you come up with the rest of this character, and then I'll jump over.
Why are you drawing PK?
Because we haven't gotten a second suggestion yet.
Oh, gotcha. So
the question is, were they born with antlers, or did they get it in an accident? Like there could be like a crash with a deer, and then like the antlers got embedded into their head, and now they have deer powers.
Here's the hero I'm thinking of. It is Professor Antelope. All right. Okay. So Professor Antelope is a geneticist, and he has figured out a way to splice genes of animals with humans, but he can only do it with cloven animals that have antlers. Maybe he's a villain. And he found this out accidentally when he was working on his project. And he was working on the project, and what did I say? Oh, he had maybe his apprentice or sidekick is a big game hunter that routinely would have lots of his collections of horns and things up in the lab, and the big game hunter is the one who funds Professor Antelope's experiments. And just because of the convenience of having all the genetic material of big game hunter animals, so this is definitely a villain, because being a big game hunter just for sport, it's kind of a dick move. So yeah, Professor Antelope's definitely a villain, because he just wants to satisfy his science. He doesn't care who backs him. He lacks lots of ethics. So he has I'm gonna make a super villain team out of this, because this is a great idea. So Professor Antelope, he's got a lab coat. He's got his little pronghorn antelope horns and everything. He has spectacles. He's very studious and smart, just lacking ethics. But to keep heroes off his back who keep trying to stop his experiments, he has his own pack. Kind of like Shredder has Bebop and Rocksteady, which are just big, strong, do the heavy work against the turtles. Professor Antelope has 2 sidekicks. They are Bighorn, and Longhorn.
All right, can you sorry, put a pause on that one, and I'll let you keep thinking about that because we just got a $35 pledge from Scribbles of Mo. Sorry if that's.
I actually know who it is, but
okay.
Yeah,
a superhero.
It's someone we know.
A superhero who is powered by T. The stronger the T, the more power.
T hero. I'm going to finish Professor Antelope, and we're going to put this. But I've gotten written down.
I'm working on a sketch as well.
Stronger the T. Okay. So Bighorn and Longhorn are the big muscle-headed, and they're a pair of. They were 2 former students. Professor Antelope used to teach at a university, and there are 2 like bro jocks who are failing the class, and but they're very strong and athletic. So Professor Antelope saw an opportunity to go out on his own with the funding from the big game hunter and do it. And he's like, well, if you guys come to this late night lab experiment, I'll give you A's for the semester and everything. But what he was really doing was going to splice their genes. And Bighorn has his gene spliced with a American bighorn sheep, big ram, the ones that can knock each other out and climb mountains. So he's super strong. He can headbutt people, and he can leap and jump off like steep inclines and mountains. And the other one is Longhorn, who he spliced the genes with a Texas Longhorn bull. So he's got the big, long bull horns, and he's super strong, and he can run really fast in a straight line and knock things out and everything. So it's Professor Antelope with Longhorn and Bighorn.
Okay.
So T, and you mean like the British leafy? The tea.
So yeah, product. Are we doing British tea or Chinese tea or Asian tea?
Well, I mean, all tea comes from Asia.
Okay. So
the British imported it. It's tea made popular by the British.
Okay.
So all tea comes from Asia.
So how about the
stronger the better.
Yeah, so I'm thinking this character doesn't have any superpowers, but they know the secret recipe.
Well, what if they have a selection of teas that give them certain powers based on what they need? That's they don't inherently have powers, but somehow they react to tea, and their tea gives them superpowers. So I'm thinking
LM for hero.
So we got to come up with a good name, but I'm envisioning someone that has a pair of bandoliers full of all kinds of different tea bags. Labeled distances like that building's on fire. This calls for a oolong, and they pull it out, and the oolong gives them fire-resistant powers.
Yeah,
and then they have a little kettle hanging on it, and they have a super-powered battery-powered tea kettle that heats up the water. And so in a moment of intensity, they do have to brew up a perfect cup of tea, and then they drink the tea. But if we were to film it, every time we would do a Edgar Wright type montage of them making the tea, and slam it down. Let's do this.
Right, because it would have to be hot tea, otherwise it doesn't work.
Exactly. You can't brew tea cold. Yeah. At least not quickly.
Right.
You'd have to I'm doing a cold brew, so you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow for me to save you. So that doesn't really work out. So we need a good name for this hero. I don't care what the gender can be. This hero could be male or female, because their power comes from tea, not from what gender they are.
Well, what if this was a legacy hero too?
Oh yeah, they pass it on. Maybe the original was Leaf was the original that unlocked the power of using tea, and then she has brought on. She's kind of like Sorcerer Supreme and Doctor Strange, where when she finds appropriate apprentices, she teaches them the secret of tea superpowers, and then just has her own team of tea-based heroes. So I see Madame Leaf wearing a very proper.
What was this guy's name? The horn guy,
or Professor Antelope.
Professor Antelope. Right,
so
Professor Antelope there.
We got okay.
We got some art done.
I don't know if it'll let you switch cameras, but if it does, try it.
Okay.
So yeah, Madam Leaf. She's had her team of.
Should be in the Hangouts
like
window.
Baron Oolong has worked for her in the past, and
Window at the top. Hangouts.
Sorry, we're going to figure out some things technically.
Hit the gear. Switch cameras.
All right. So here we have Professor Antelope.
One of the side effects of
do
his genetic
do you have anything to say about
experiment
this?
is losing his neck.
Just I was trying to make him kind of like a little bit like short of stature, penguin-y or something. I don't know.
Awesome.
Wait.
All right.
All right, I see that with an antelope.
All right.
It makes him look very mousy and kind of like an unethical scientist. So.
Yeah.
Almost done with
Someone
Chronos.
said the brewer. That could be that could. I'm thinking that sounds more of like a coffee character. That could be the arch enemy. Someone who gets the power.
Superpowered barista.
Yeah, that gets the power from coffee, and it's like be kind of like Fry from Futurama.
Yeah, or Columbia Jack. I didn't expect to find you here.
Yeah.
But then they all have to team up to stop the soda villain.
Yeah.
All right.
I could try that one.
The Koch brothers.
Like, I'm gonna go for kind of like a hipstery dude.
Or do you want to do Madam Leaf? The tea-based.
I'm gonna let Alex do it because his is gonna be way better than mine.
All right.
Especially if that's one of our
so I think Madam Leaf will have she is not some of her later proteges will have the multiple bandoliers and all the gadgets. They definitely ramped it up. But Madam Leaf is more refined, right? So she probably has like a single bandolier or a single just satchel that has all her tea stuff.
So this is Professor Chronos?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you got older lady. She got the time belt.
Yeah. I like to think that she twists something on the belt, and that's how she travels through time. And she twists it, and you hear the tick, 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 tick on it, and then it.
She could do like a magic school bus thing where it's like, okay, kids,
she does
gather
have
around.
a bit
We're
of
going
a Miss
back
Frizzle
to.
look to her too.
Speaking of which, Miss Frizzle is clearly a time lord.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a well-established fan theory.
Right.
And it makes a lot of sense.
Right. It does.
So which one am I doing?
You're going to do Madam Leaf.
Madam Leaf.
The tea-based hero.
The tea.
So
like I said, I'm
hero
and our coffee hero.
What's that?
Tea hero and coffee hero.
she's kind of a
coffee guy can be a villain.
She's very sage-like.
Yeah.
So think, probably long robes with like a single satchel that maybe has like a tea leaf design on the outside. Maybe she's holding some kind of magical teapot.
So she's like kind of a mage type hero.
Yeah, she's definitely because she's unlocked the magic of tea. Because tea is magical.
Tea is magic. I love tea.
So
Me too.
oh, we do have a pledge from someone. For $20.
Okay, so if that
doesn't tell me the person's name on here, it just says "Hooray!" That's it. Just someone.
You can check the backer report.
If it was you, let us know.
There's a $20 pledge. I gotta log in.
Okay. Meanwhile, there's one that came up. People were talking about quite a bit. So I'm just reverse Slothmaster.
It means like Slothmaster's nemesis. If you will.
In what way? Like
so
he's all sloth, but he has like human hands.
I think this could either be someone who's super fast, or we could do the reverse Flash thing where he's also slow.
Okay. Yeah.
Does it evil,
but he's just really slow and evil.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So let's he can't be a sloth. He just has to be another slow creature.
Okay. What's the opposite of a sloth then?
Cheetah.
I suppose. Yeah.
So we wanted to be fast and evil. Is his nemesis? Like Slothmaster would just always lose then.
But like the reverse Flash is also fast.
Yeah.
Like
so we
somebody
just have
who was inspired by Slothmaster.
Oh, I see.
But then
So like other snails.
Well, they can also be like a sloth, but different. Like he's still Slothman, but his outfit's different. Like instead of like a tracksuit, he wears like I don't know, like gymnast.
What if it was a Loras? What if it was a Loras based
Oh my god.
villain?
Slow Loras.
A slow Loras.
I'm thinking of
what if he was Dolores? Like, duh. No, it's too much.
I just had an image like where it's like kind of like the Flash TV show where they have those things where they run through the city and doing their whole fight, but instead we have to speed it up of them just like batting at each other.
Yeah.
And or like the same epic music.
Or it could be turtle or tortoise based or snail based.
Yeah. And Reverse Flash comes from the future. Reverse Slothmaster would just be, well, he just waited around for a really long time. Yeah. That makes less sense the more I think about it.
Ooh, it's the Loras Master, like Lore Master, but the Loras Master. That is Slothmaster's kind of. What if Loras Master is the person that Slothmaster looks up to? What if Loras Master is a legacy hero? Like he hit his heyday in the 70s. Oh, he was real big in the 70s.
Oh, we got our name of our pledger. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing this. Beatrice
DeFalco.
DeFalco.
Yeah.
Just let us know if there's a concept you want us to draw for you. Just put like a power or a name.
So no, exactly.
We shall draw it for you.
Loras Master, he was real big in the 70s and everything. And other than being slow, his real power was he was basically indestructible.
Okay.
And so he fought crime basically with stunts. He had a lot of contraptions and everything. Like he had a Da Vinci style wing flying suit that he would like fly down on bad guys, and even if he crashed, it was okay because Loras Master is indestructible, and he has like a 1970s style leather jumpsuit, kind of AKA Evel Knievel, with the big bell bottoms and everything, and a helmet. So it was like a Loras man with a helmet and everything, but instead of the bright red, white, and blue like Evel Knievel, because that'd be copyright infringement. It's just it's flames. He has a flame suit because flames are wicked cool. And Slothmaster really... So the colors on Slothmaster's tracksuit, the browns and oranges and everything, are some of the same colors that were in Loras Master's leather jumpsuit. So that is Slothmaster's ode to Loras Master. So it's brown, orange, and white leathers jumpsuit with flames on it, kind of like your old school hot rod sports car style flames. That is Lord, and maybe a big wing contraption set that he wears that he'd like get on the top of the building and he'd press a button, the wings would go whoosh, and his catchphrase was just cool.
Okay,
and then he'd jump off the building.
So we got from Beatrice. So this one's really open. Just
sweet.
Valdox, a female super person. Doesn't have to be a hero.
Valdox.
Yeah.
Female
super person.
Okay. Valdox. Okay, what kind of name would Valdox?
Valdox sounds alien.
It's definitely a very modern, sleek hero.
Yeah.
I'm thinking some kind of digitized battle suit with like circuitry and stuff on the outside. Maybe some kind of sweet helmet that has a heads-up display visor, like targets and stuff on it and everything. She's a cyborg.
Okay.
She's half woman, half robot. Valdox.
That's cool.
And basically she has like her like along with the built-in the visor and all, like it's intrinsically part of her, has like a heads-up display and everything. But she can use nanobots within her cybernetics to make weapons and stuff as she needs it, or
Blue Beetle-ish.
What's that? Blue Beetle-ish, yeah. Out the insect vibe, more sleek, more Art Deco style, almost like the film Metropolis style. So like she can make a shield and some kind of firearm or like laser gun if she needed, or she can make a grappling hook. Like she gets thrown off a building, she could nanobot a grappling or through her technology make a grappling hook, swing through, and then as she breaks through the window, like you do with the swing, her feet get turned into like, you know, kind of like an anvil, and she slams into the bad guys and everything. So it's really, you know, or if she's around like another group of heroes and a debris from a building's falling down, she can like make a big like shield above them to protect them from the falling debris. Almost like Green Lantern's building powers, but she's physically building things.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I think when you guys are done with that,
and
we'll start on that.
Brewer.
We got the Brewer, the arch enemy of Madam T. Was it?
Madam Leaf.
Madam Leaf. I'm sorry. Madam T sounds ridiculous.
She pitied a fool.
All right, so here we are, the Brewer.
So I made him kind of like a hipstery dude with like the ability to control coffee. So just like he's kind of like neutral and just like doesn't care about you, and then has a bunch of coffee stuff floating around.
Funny how 80s hipsters also look like 1980s longshoremen.
Yeah,
you know,
he's got some tattoos and like a piercing and an ironic V-neck. You know, all the staples.
You know, actually, I think it's kind of amazing that we haven't had a hipster character in Super Academy.
Yeah. No, I mean, Clifton is that character.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm a clown superhero because clowns are ironic.
I never thought of I just thought of like every obnoxious thing I could do.
Sure.
Of like full of your, which I guess that is hipster.
Yeah.
Madam Leaf.
Oh, Madam Leaf?
Yeah.
Okay.
Madam T is a little too obvious.
So, Valdox. That sounds like a cool character.
What's the next one I should be drawing here?
Do you want to do Valdox or Loras Master?
Oh, we got.
On one hand, I know Alex is going to be able to draw a way better cyborg than I am, but on the other hand, I know Alex is going to do a way better job at drawing.
And here's the thing: I know Slothmaster and Loras Master. That's why Slothmaster.
I'll let Alex pick.
I think that was intentional in my name because Slothmaster idolizes Loras Master. So that's
do you want to say anything about Madam Leaf? Is there anything that you want to mention, Alex?
Oh, I give her a little T-ball on her pouch that she could probably use as like something to do incantations with or something.
Or somatic components of her spells.
Yeah, but she's definitely carrying like a lot of varieties of tea. And she always balances a cup of tea on her head because why not?
Because she's a balanced individual.
So yes.
So I realize Loras Master is very similar to Slothmaster, and my idea on that is being a hero. Slothmaster is like time for me to pick my hero name. Loras Master, I look up to. I'm going to be the Slothmaster. Mm-hmm. And that was literally all the discussion he had in his head. That's all he had time for. And he picked a tracksuit that looked very similar to the jumpsuit that Loras Master had.
I'll do the cyborg one.
Okay. All right. So this one's actually kind of interesting. So, you want to be an Imagineer? Suggests what about a character who is literally powered by
Tiki,
who is powered by feelings of nostalgia?
Ooh.
So I mean, part of Super Academy is also you take certain traits that are in like student common, and I think a big thing is being nostalgic about things like old shows, like, and that could be kind of like the personification of that, like, you know, make like all these 90s references and like.
I can't believe we had nostalgia for the 90s. It was not that long ago.
I love the 90s.
I know the 90s, but like saying you have nostalgia for the 90s seems so.
So, I mean, well, I understand you're hitting an older age, but
I mean, I was a child. I was in high school. In the 90s.
I know. I mean, I know middle age.
I was on.
What did we know?
Yeah. This is why people hate millennials.
No, okay. So this is not something we'd ever be able to do. One, because of effects, and two, because of copyright. But hypothetically, I'm almost thinking like sort of a Green Lantern thing where they can manifest nostalgic images or characters.
Here's Denver, the last dinosaur. I summon you.
Right.
You know what we need? We need the power of the gummy bears. Gummy bears. Sorry.
And his weakness is realizing that the thing he's nostalgic for was actually not that great.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
See, the 80s fit into that more because what was considered cool in the 80s does not hold up as well.
A lot of things from the 90s don't hold up either.
True, but I think the 90s, I mean, literally the 80s was such a cynical decade. They literally was TV shows made nothing but to sell toys.
Okay.
Like the toys became like He-Man and G.I. Joe and She-Ra existed only to sell, and GoBots existed only to sell toys. You cannot get more cynical than that. And if you enjoyed those shows as a kid, it's great. And then you go back and watch it.
Right.
Great example is the Transformers movie, which they literally killed all the most. Sorry, spoilers for a 30-year-old movie, 31-year-old movie, because it came out in 1986. They kill off basically every main character in the Transformers movie in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
As a child, it's very traumatic.
That movie,
but then they introduced a whole new toy line. I mean, whole new batch of characters. My favorite being the Junkions, or the junkyard ones that had gun nipples. They literally, out of their chest, had a pair of guns. After they were motorcycles / and other junk, but they had gun nipples, and no one thought of, like, as a kid, I didn't realize that was maybe weird.
I'm amazed that the live action ones don't have that.
Yeah, well, because they have testicles and everything else.
Yeah, like you think that would just be just right there for them.
Yeah. That would mean Michael Bay would have to acknowledge the existence of females for anything other than eye candy. All right, that got real. All right. Newsflash. I don't like Michael Bay.
No, that movie killed so many.
Gasp.
That movie killed so many characters. It killed Orson Welles.
Yeah, it was the last movie he did.
Yeah.
So sad.
It's not a bad movie. It's actually a lot of fun. Anyway, so nostalgia powered. I like the idea. Instead of a ring, what if this person has a magical Walkman and a Game Boy? Right? Sure. Those are his two tools. It's a Walkman and a Game Boy, or a Discman and a Game Boy. And he can summon things from it. So basically, he's like, "Oh, you know what we need," and he basically summons things to fight for him.
Yeah.
So it was like, "Oh man, there's a bunch of thugs with guns. I'm gonna summon the two dudes from Contra."
Yeah.
And the Contra dudes come up and they're doing the spins, and he's in the corner controlling the Contra dudes while fighting the bad guys.
Right.
So I think he's called Wayback.
That's good.
Yeah, Wayback. So, and I want Wayback to be kind of a man-child looking, like he looks simultaneously young and childlike, but also middle-aged at the same time. You know what I mean? Like,
so he's like a comic book guy from The Simpsons.
Very much, yeah, except not quite balding. But he's got, like, he has headphones, and the headphones are the big padded ones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like with the orange foam on either side. He has a Nintendo Power Glove as well, because yes. That's another thing he fights with. So Nintendo Power Glove, a Game Boy on one side, the Walkman on the other, Discman, whatever we decided. And then he can even have like a backpack full of like old comic books and stuff if he needs to like summon or get information. Like he could throw down an old comic. We need help. He could throw down an old comic book and scan it, and that hero would like leap from the pages and fight for him. So
that's interesting.
Cool. Or he's like, you know what we need? And he whips out a VHS of Jurassic Park, and next thing you know, he's riding T-Rex into battle.
Or a laser disc.
Or a laser disc, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he can have a wrist gun that shoots laser discs and CDs at people.
Laser discs were pretty big, weren't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe that's like a shoulder fired like bazooka thing, and then he has regular CDs on wrist mounted, and then his belt buckle is a cassette tape.
So you want to be an Imagineer says so basically Star-Lord with less social skills.
I mean,
I guess.
I mean, Star-Lord doesn't use his Walkman for any superpower. He just shoots and punches stuff. This guy will actually control things. He's more if you've watched Spider-Man Homecoming, can I be the guy at the chair? Can I be your guy in the chair? And he's basically a guy in a chair that goes out in the field and then he summons his own superheroes and everything to control.
All right. So there's a couple people who talking about. So just described a literal internet troll.
Ooh.
All right.
I like that one.
So I already know his name. His name's Bro Flake. Do we have to?
Okay. And obviously he's a troll.
Yeah. So way back is the nostalgia.
I was trying to draw a helmet. So you'll see in a minute. I was trying to draw a helmet for Loras Master that has like kind of the ear shape on it, and I got done with drawing it. And I'm just like, this is just Princess Leia hair.
Some foreshadowing.
So
I have to fix it now.
The actual internet troll, yeah, his name is Bro Flake.
Okay.
But he's just most of the time he's an unassuming white guy with a neckbeard and a trilby, not a fedora. No neckbeards wear fedoras. They wear trilbies mislabeled as fedoras. With a t-shirt that says "Who farted?" Cargo shorts and sandals with socks. Okay. That is his normal form. But when someone says something that he disagrees with, or he knows he'll get right, he literally turns into like this gangly troll, and his cargo shorts get really tiny on him. The like socks rip on his sandals, and like troll claws extend past the sandals. But then he has this super tight, tiny "Who farted" shirt that has like a bare midriff and everything. And his catchphrase is, "Well, actually."
All right, let's. That
one was easy. This is how I imagine most people who start crap on the internet look like in their mom's basement. If their mom hasn't kicked them out already.
All right. Let's see. So let's oh, and I lost it. Oh yeah. So let's try one that we'll probably actually be able to make in the series.
We can do Bro Flake.
Yeah, I saw it.
If we had green screen, did everything on green screen.
Right.
It's just a less redeemable Starburst.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, we already have one of those. We already have an internet troll.
So Clownfish Kid.
Clownfish.
Yeah.
Can they? Well, clownfish are famous for living in coral that's poisonous, right?
Yeah.
So he could be poison resistant.
And then maybe attack people with poison.
Maybe.
Like or some kind of like
can create coral.
Well, what good is that?
But I mean, like millions of pounds, and like coral can, bind people to the ground, or bind, or create giant structures of coral. Coral. Thank you. That could be cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, something we can actually make.
Well, doesn't coral like die outside of water almost instantly? So he's literally just as bad as everyone's stereotype version of Aquaman. Is like, don't you suck outside of water? Clownfish Boy as like that would just suck outside of water.
Well, what would you do, Kyle?
For Clownfish Boy?
Clownfish Kid.
Clownfish Kid. The Clownfish Kid. Well, we have a name like that. I think he should be Wild West themed.
Okay.
But his big 10-gallon hat should be the orange, white, and black of a clownfish.
Okay.
And then he has big shoulder pads of coral, kind of spiky coral and everything, and then a belt with a shell on it and everything, and a vest. Like he should basically wear your typical Western garb, just a bright coral reef colors. And then his ability is he can shoot spikes like poisonous coral, like sea anemone stuff, and just paralyze people and everything. None of his poisons are lethal because he's a hero, but he can disable people or make enemies hallucinate, so they're not as effective as a fight and everything. And he's very much, who are you? I'm the Clownfish Kid. Like spins his hat and everything, and you're just like, your name's Carl, you're from Brooklyn, but he's just way into westerns.
Right.
He's just really embraced this aesthetic. He got to Super Academy, and they're like, well, what are your powers? Well, I can basically summon the toxins from semi-toxic corals that can paralyze and cause people to hallucinate. So, like, what do you mean? Like, well, like the sea anemone and Finding Nemo. Oh, the clownfish? That's a cool show, kid. Like, that's the idea. I'm the Clownfish Kid. But he also loved Westerns. And that's why he just went with that whole aesthetic.
A lot of people are bringing up some of the things that clownfish can do.
Oh. Got some scientifically minded viewers.
Yeah, one of them is they can change gender. So
he's also a spy infiltrator.
Yeah.
Kind of like Mystique.
Yeah.
So that's fine. That would be cool. Not like a full-on shapeshifter, but just enough to change. And if he changes out of his ostentatious costume, or she, or it, or they. If they do that, then we can, so. And Kid is a gender neutral term. Is this Loras Master?
This is Loras Master,
the 1970s hero that inspires Slothmaster to take up fighting crime.
Also known as Reverse Sloth. Unofficially.
Same camera.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting in this position first.
Okay. So
he has a full fursuit.
I made him have like this kind of furry suit thing, which is kind of bulky and awkward, like Loras's are. And then he's got a helmet that's strapped on. I picture as like a molded plastic, and he's like really big eyes with the makeup underneath. And he's got these big doopy gloves with like the ball shapes on the end, like a Loras has. I had to Google a Loras because I wanted to make it really accurate,
right.
Which of course it very much is. So, yeah.
I'm glad of all the slow animals we picked, Loras.
Yeah.
All right. I finished. I'm sorry. I forgot her name.
Valdox.
You guys are in like perfect sync together.
I spelled it Valdox.
Yeah, that's
right. Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
So we have 3 for you all to choose from. We have Wayback, the nostalgia-powered hero. We have Broflake, the literal internet troll. And we have the Clownfish Kid.
Yeah, this is really cool. Nice.
We got a stack here.
What would you like to take?
Yeah. So, well, or should we let them? Yeah, no. Well,
we got 3 for them to choose from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wayback's the nostalgia power with the Nintendo Power Glove and the Walkman,
that's a cool
and everything.
Broflake is cool too.
Broflake's the literal internet troll.
And then
I feel very strongly about the Who Farted shirt. And then
I'll take the Clownfish Kid.
Clownfish Kid.
Do something with that.
And I think that could be it could be gender neutral. It could even be a Clownfish Kid. They could be androgynous if you wanted, or they could be a female cowboy or cow person.
Could be anything. Yeah.
So yeah, I like the idea of a clownfish themed cowboy.
Yeah, aesthetic. I do too. Yeah,
like that's so ridiculous to me. It's basically they look like a Lisa Frank 3-ring binder turned into a cowboy costume.
It's a fun idea.
All right, I'm gonna pick one of these completely at random.
So Alex is working on Clownfish Kid.
Just me with nostalgia.
Wayback is the nostalgia one.
Yeah.
Or Broflake, the literal internet troll.
I'll take the nostalgia one.
All right, Wayback. And then if he ever got his own vehicle, he could literally have time to get in the Wayback machine, and everyone can just shake their head and look at him. But it's nostalgia based, so it makes sense.
Is this the one who has the Who Farted shirt?
No,
that's
Broflake.
All right. So I think what he's going to have then is going to be a Rocko's Modern Life shirt.
He could also have the Flash Gordon T-shirt from the Flash Gordon.
It should be a different shirt, like in every scene.
Oh yeah. He should just have his own selection of graphic tees.
Every time you cut away and back, it's a different.
Yeah, even if it's within the same scene.
Yep.
And there's and it could drive Dark Cop mad. It's like, where are you keeping them? Do you not understand the law of conservation of matter? They have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And maybe the secret is it's the same shirt that he just has with his powers. He can magically change the shirt at any time. So, yeah. So we've got Wayback and Clownfish Kid being worked on right now by our illustrators.
Okay.
So I'm going to take this moment. Thank you all for joining us. We're 22% funded with 10 days to go, which means it can still happen, but we need a huge push from everyone. So all of those of you that are on the stream are obviously big fans because you're on the stream, which is awesome, and we truly, truly appreciate you. What we need you mega fans to do is we literally need each of you to get 10 of your friends and or family to pledge to the like, this is how crowdfunding worked, is you have a core group of your like hardcore, very involved fans like you all on the stream right now. And then it expands by going outside of those circles. Like, we've all kind of hit our friend circles and everything. We need you to each get 10 people to pledge to the campaign for us to have a chance to get this funded so we can make more Super Academy. I know that's a tall order. Sometimes asking people to give money to things is socially awkward. I get it. It's a thing. Tell them it's just helping make more art you enjoy. It's you have to watch commercials or buy product. You're giving money directly to the filmmakers to make art. I think that's nothing more honest than that. So then we're not beholden to Coca-Cola or whoever's doing our product placement. Like, we do have a product placement thing on there, but and typically the stuff we did in season 1 was a local game designer friend of ours and a local arcade company and another geeky podcast. It's almost like, and we just put posters and stuff in the background and made sure they were in a few shots. That's the kind of, like, we'll do product placement, but we typically it's to support other artists and other geeky ventures. But we didn't let any of that ever influence our storytelling or anything. But we really need your help. Like, these live streams are tons of fun, and we really do enjoy doing them. But our ultimate goal in doing them is, 1, we're exercising your creative muscles with you all, which is a blast. But 2, we want to exercise those creative muscles to make something interesting and frankly beautiful piece of filmmaking that we can share on the internet and it's directly accessible. And we're going to keep putting it on YouTube or if we get deals with Escapist, free places for you to watch, because once you've supported, we don't want you to have to pay for Hulu or something that requires subscription to do it. We want it, once it's done, to be free for people to enjoy. So nothing is truly free, as the cliche says, so we need your help. If you've pledged already, you have our deepest thanks. We need you to call in your posse.
So, all right. So here's one that I think basically writes itself. So we'll just ultra mime. So I think that, basically just the things they pantomime become real. Visible, they can create.
Well, they never become visible, but if they make a wall,
right?
If the bad guy's getting away, the truck will hit the wall.
And that's easy that's the thing we could actually do.
Or they could literally do the lasso and lasso it over the bad guy and then
right.
But they can never alert or call the cops because they can't make noise.
Right.
They have to, I don't know if they have to rely on text messaging or just literally pantomime.
Right.
I could see that being a very frustrating partner to have, where the cops just like, oh.
Right, because he would keep miming when he doesn't need to mime.
What was the full name of this?
Just ultra mime.
I honestly think this person would be dressed like your stereotypical mime.
Yeah.
Like to the T with the striped shirt and everything, maybe with just a U on the chest. That's the only, that's it. Otherwise, it looks exactly like the mime from Animaniacs, if you will.
Right.
Or that's it. No change. If we did this in the show, we would literally just go buy a mime costume from the Halloween store and then have a U screen printed on it.
Right.
And then the only hard part would be I would actually want to cast someone with mime training, so the miming is good and convincing.
Yeah. Or improv training. Usually.
To a point, yeah, but the physicality in miming is very specific. I've taken a couple mime and clowning classes myself, and they're cool. But the people that I would get a person that teaches those classes in the role.
Right.
I would get someone like local, great, former Barnum and Bailey's clown Greg Parks or Neil Skoy, who have taken classes with both of them, and they're tremendously talented. So I would get someone who's actually done mime.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry we didn't spend much time on that, but that's a fantastic idea, and I love it. But like Ben said, it writes itself. But yeah, actually manifesting mime creations. The mime would have to be really careful not to trap themselves inside a box.
Well, they probably already did that when
but then they could always just add a door handle and go walk through the door. And then there would be some cliche line from the villains when they've captured Ultra Mime and they're going to dip them in the vat of acid or something. One of the other villains says, "No, a mime's a terrible thing to waste."
Nope. We're not taking that one.
I had to do that joke.
Yeah. No, you didn't, actually.
Yes, I did. Hello, Ben. I'm Kyle. Have we met?
So I'm probably going to regret this immediately, but Slap Ass Man. I just had to say it because everyone's talking about it.
I think it's just Jordan Peele with a domino mask and like a bright blue, like,
and a list.
And a list. It's like, it's time to stop the villains with a game of that slap ass. Look at that villain bending over to pick up the money from the bank. Time to slap that ass. I think that's.
And he can hit him across the.
Yeah, and his slaps while also violating their sexual comfort zone. Also, like slap the villain into the next dimension or something.
Yeah, I feel like he wouldn't be allowed at Super Academy.
No, he would be kicked out for violating sexual harassment policy on day one.
This is you guys are against my superpower. This is part of who I am. I gotta slap ass.
Well, you can do it somewhere else. Yeah, that's what I would say. Done. That's another one done. Slap ass and Ultra Mime, I think. I'll write them down in case someone
decides to pledge.
That being said, if you pledge $200, we could guarantee Slap Ass Man would be in the show.
It won't be Jordan Peele. I think he's a little bit out of our budget range. Mime and Slap Ass. So
he'd go to. Someone said he'd go to Anti-Hero Academy. All right. So here's a random one. Mammoth Man.
Mammoth Man.
Yeah. So mammoth could either be woolly mammoth or it could be, the word.
I just like
adjective.
mammoth. I don't even like adding the M. I just like it being mammoth.
Is that
it could be male or female. I don't know. Is mammoth an actual superhero?
Probably. But whatever. Let's keep going with this.
But their nickname could be Woolly. Like just in casual conversation, they could just, they never call Hulk. They call him Bruce, right? So, yes, his superhero name is Mammoth. I like the idea of Mammoth having kind of a form-fitting suit that is still furry with a big M made out of ivory or something, and maybe they have some small tusks that come out. And then they have a belt, but then when it comes down to combat, they activate the belt, and all of a sudden they become this big gargantuan, big, huge arms that are, mammoth things, and maybe a tusk comes out, and they don't turn into a full mammoth until they lock that. That would be a plot point. Was like how to unlock the full mammoth powers, but maybe they're like half man, half mammoth, but they can, grow in size to where their front torso and all has the tusks and the trunk and and just fights and breaks through things and everything. That would be cool.
All right.
A partial shape. Beast Boy, they can only turn into part mammoth. One of Beast Boy's go-to forms was a woolly mammoth, I believe so, in the Teen Titans TV show.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good option.
I think we'll get some water.
Okay.
Be right back.
I got Clownfish Kid. I write down
Clownfish Kid incoming.
There we
go. Ooh. All right. So here we see Their mask.
He's actually kind of terrifying.
Yeah. Clowns do that. Even clown cowboys.
I like clowns.
Yeah.
Clowns are awesome.
Evil Stephen King clowns, yeah, you should be afraid of them, but other clowns you shouldn't be. They're just really well-trained entertainers.
I'm super excited for the new It movie.
So, all right, so we have Ultramime, Slap Ass, and Mammoth.
Oh my god.
The cup flows over, doesn't it?
So my idea is Slap Ass. I'm thinking a very traditional superhero with the spandex suit, with the underpants on the outside.
Yeah, of course.
With a domino mask, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they have a big, oversized right hand.
Like almost like a yeah, I see.
Like the number 1 signs people have, but that's his actual hand. It's this giant hand.
Yeah.
And he just like,
I'll do
maybe he has a specialty slap ass glove.
I like it.
Like it's a big white Mickey Mouse glove. His other hand doesn't have a glove at all, just his ass slapping hand.
Okay.
There was actually a comment asking for that exact thing. So
perfect.
For right on the wavelength.
I'm a professional. Okay, I've been paid to write things people performed a couple times. Not much, but it counts.
I got way back here.
The way back. Way back we totally could do, because we could find a Power Glove, we could find a Walkman, we could find a Game Boy, we could just get a goddamn Jinko pants.
I gave him huge Jinko jeans with like the waist tassels that go down on the sides as well.
Those are seriously the stupidest piece of clothing ever designed.
Just parachute pants, but jeans. Like, you know, if we're gonna go there, he's got a Rocko's Modern Life T-shirt. He has a Power Glove on one arm, and then he's got a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Glove on the other. So you can do both like really nostalgic things.
Oh, I thought
his shirt also has shoulder pads in there. I don't know if you saw that. He has a rat tail coming down from the back bottom of his hair.
And his other thing, so when he locks up criminals and catches them, instead of handcuffs, he used magical slap bracelets. Then he puts them on, and then their wrists magnetize together. And they usually have some kind of like they're like neon wham.
Yeah.
Slap bracelets.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I love it.
So you can work on Ultramime or Mammoth, Jacob.
I'll do Mammoth. That sounds like fun.
So
what was the character concept again?
So the idea is he's a partial shapeshifter. They can't turn fully into a mammoth. They can turn parts of his body into a mammoth, like he can grow the trunk or just the tusks or the giant arms to fight crime.
Okay. I can work with that.
Okay, how about a mercenary named Flatline?
We did that character, actually. One of the other character streams.
Okay.
We definitely did a character named Flatline.
Well,
might even have that somewhere.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Sorry,
I'm noticing Slap Ass coming along, and it's glorious. You all are in for a treat. Slap that ass.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different character. Maybe we didn't do Flatline.
I think we've done one called Fault Line before.
Maybe.
Well.
So when you say mercenary, are you just wanting a Deadpool clone?
People who can be mercenary. I mean, I think Flatline sounds pretty serious. You know, it's like, you know, lots of guns kind of thing, but it's
so
just like
Deadpool.
Yeah, but not like.
I mean, when I hear like what? So let's stay in the Super Academy world where things are a little less serious, right?
Okay.
What if Flatline is dressed like a superhero version of a paramedic? So he's got like the hat with goggles and stuff, maybe, and then like a tight fitting like button coat with the first aid symbol on the front, with the big poofy like motorcycle riding pants from World War II with tall boots, and then he has a magical defibrillator, and that's what he fights with. So it's got a power pack on the back. He has defibrillator paddles, and he punches people with those.
That's actually kind of scary.
It fits in the Super Academy universe, and we totally could do that too.
Yeah,
we could make that costume, and we could totally make a defibrillator prop.
I like it.
Like if we're doing guns and swords in a superhero suit, we're just doing Deadpool, but not Deadpool, and that's fine. Deadpool's cool. We'll let Marvel do Deadpool.
So, this one came back a while ago, but a protege for Commander Cobalt, maybe during the war or modern time.
I think it'd just be a super scientist. We've already done Scout, his sidekick.
Oh right, yeah.
Like I like the idea like superheroes kind of started in the 40s because that's when they started in actual human history. Like the first Action Comics was like what 1939, I think. Action Comics 1. So it's kind of the idea of costume crime fighters starting in the 40s and kept Commander Cobalt being one of the first. I like that. Like I could see him like working for a general or something that didn't have superpowers, or an admiral, more accurately for Commander Cobalt.
Okay. And one thing that we're talking about, since we're talking about Cobalt, is would he have a a Red Skull-esque villain? Like who is Cobalt's enemy?
Yeah. I feel like we've hypothesized on that.
We've definitely done the sidekick because we did Scout. We like the Scout is now back in school as like a
right.
So we've definitely done like the sidekick of Commander Cobalt before, and I like that character and would love to use it sometime if we can get the funding. So yeah, but a villain, that's a decent challenge.
And I don't want to flat out just do like super Nazi again.
No.
But I'm thinking like,
and I definitely don't want to necessarily do a Japanese Empire bad guy because that could get really bad into racial stereotypes super quick, and you don't want to do. That's bad and insensitive, and you should not do that.
Well, what else does Cobalt fight for? Like, other than just the war? Like he fights for, like, stay in line, stay in school, kids. Kind of thing. Like maybe his villain would be a guy who wants to turn kids into delinquents. Like his whole thing. He's like the Shredder from the TMNT original movie, where it's like all these kids come play video games and become ninjas because we're the bad crowd, kind of thing. So like a bad influence.
Yeah, I got an idea. I gotta look up something
while you're doing that.
I suffered a concussion on Friday, so my brain. It's not working as fast as it usually does. That's why I'm not looking at the computer screen. What if it's I want to work with something with the word truance, truancy. That something like someone. Yeah,
how about just truancy?
Truancy. That's just that. Like that's the physical embodiment of the idea of truancy.
Yeah,
maybe he like whispers ideas into kids' heads. Like he's able to stealth in, and like a kid's bored in school is like, that new video game came out. And the kid goes, you can sneak away after third period and go play the next level. And that's what he does. And Commander Cobalt like bursts in through the school Kool-Aid Man style through the thing, is like, I see you, truancy, and having your kind there, and then he just punches truancy in the stomach.
Yeah, all their battles would basically be a PSA.
Yeah, every single one. I got it. Truancy isn't a real villain. He was a villain created by an ad agency for a series of commercials against truancy that Commander Cobalt did in the 80s. So they're all 80s with that look. Kind of like the Captain America videos in Spider-Man Homecoming, but they literally just created truancy. And he's just a stuntman in this ridiculous like lime green costume with like neon shoulder pads, big shoulder pads and everything. And he's just like, what's really cool? Staying home from school and going and loitering in the park. Just like that. And Commander Cobalt, it's like, no, how will you ever learn about the American Revolution, fool? And then punches truancy. And the kid's like, gee, thanks, Commander Cobalt.
This is totally something I can imagine.
We could totally film.
Yeah.
So yeah,
film it intentionally really cheap, and
I like the idea that
Cobalt forces everyone to
Truancy's costume is just like a hodgepodge of whatever they had in the costumer's closet. So maybe it's like a neon pink football helmet with like a jumpsuit with big shoulder pads and everything, and maybe like a necktie over it. So
yeah, no, and I imagine
real
Cobalt
campaign.
Yeah, Cobalt forces everyone to watch it, and he thinks like the videos never stop being relevant.
And the best part of this is the stuntman who played Truancy. Sometimes Commander Cobalt wouldn't hold his punches back.
Yeah.
So we could even have a scene like they're at a convention signing autographs and everything, and Commander Cobalt does something, and Truancy like, "Oh, I thought you were going to hit me again."
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. You help me teach the kids the good things. Oh my God, Slap Ass is amazing.
Oh God.
It's good. It's really good. Man.
All right, so here's Slap Ass Man.
He just Slap Ass, not Slap Ass Man, just Slap Ass.
Okay. And remember, if you want a PDF download,
so why the cow? Why the cow? Yeah.
What do you mean cow?
Or what is that on his shirt?
It's a donkey.
Donkey. Oh, because he's a jackass.
Yeah.
So if you make a pledge of $20 or more, you could get a PDF of Slap Ass Man.
If you pledge $200, we will put Slap Ass in the show.
I see Slap Ass. I'll trade you.
Oh,
so I have a doodle of Mammoth here.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Here's
Alex, your treasure. God. He's got like fly swatters.
Here's a mammoth.
Paddles.
So this is him in his mammoth form.
Yeah, he's got like the elephant like feet thing instead of hands.
But he can just punch the amount of like the punch power you can do with that. Like he can shift his hands back, but when he punches, you could do a cool shot of the hand transforming into the like big elephant foot, and then just do the slow motion. You know, that would be cool. So we have Flatline, who is the medical themed, like a button side, like form fitting thing with the first aid symbol on the front. With I was imagining with the kind of billowy motorcycle pants from like World War II with tall boots.
Okay.
With like a leather flying cap and goggles, and then he has a defibrillator in his back and with the wires and defibrillator pads to punch with. That's Flatline.
We also have Truancy.
Truancy, who is the hodgepodge of costume pieces. I'm imagining with a football helmet.
Imagine
with a big T on it.
Imagine what an 80s PSA exec would think of supervillain as.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm like a football helmet with a big T on it. Or like, Truancy. Oh no. And at the end of every video is Commander Cobalt. Remember, kids, you at home, you can help Commander Cobalt stop truancy. Stay in school. And he winks at the camera, and it plays some, Schoolhouse Rock kind of theme at the end.
I almost got like a.
We could do a music video. Do an anti-truancy music video with Commander Cobalt and truancy.
Commander, please fund our show so we can do that.
Yeah.
Mr. Cobalt, why did you show us a PSA on arcades? We're not going to arcades. Shut up. You're watching all of these. So if you want to do one of the...
I'll do...
we have Truancy, Flatline, and still have Ultramine. And Broflake if you wanted to.
Ooh. I guess I'll do one of the older ones, I guess. I'll do Ultramine, I guess.
Ultramine.
I'll do another clown one, why not?
I'm noticing a theme from Alex tonight.
Remember, if you pay us, then you get to pick which ones we do.
Mm-hmm. Shilling for money, shamelessly.
If you want to be at the top of the queue.
What do you guys think? Which one should I go for? I'm divided.
Between which one?
Flatline and Truancy.
Yeah.
Both are pretty cool.
Why do we let the fans decide?
No, they have to pay us to decide.
Oh, right.
They have to pay for that honor. They do not have power unless they give us money.
I'd say
I'm enforcing that rule because that is the purpose of this stream.
Right.
I'd say not the Truancy one because I feel like that would also be designed by just us going through costumes.
Yeah. So truant. So flatline it is.
All right.
Okay, this one's interesting, just because I'm not exactly sure what this would be. Anagram Man. I'm almost thinking like sort of a Riddler-esque thing where...
Well, his name's not an anagram, so...
Right.
Anagram Man is not an anagram, so...
Right, and that's why he turned to crime. No, he's a...
I think...
I mean, palindrome isn't a palindrome either, so... I mean, we could make anagram stand for something.
Yeah. What if anagram... We could, instead of... Let's drop man.
Okay, sure.
Anagram can make anything out of anything. You can turn a car, take the car pieces, and turn it into a plane. Because it's about rearranging and making something new.
Yeah.
So it's like some kind of technomancer. Anagram's a technomancer. So I think...
or like a Lego master builder.
Kind of, yeah. Exactly. So I think the costume should be like overalls, like workshop overalls, and a work belt with all kinds of crazy tools. Maybe some of them are kind of like sonic screwdrivers and stuff. A little bit of sci-fi elements with eye goggles, like construction, and a hard hat. And the hard hat could have some wires and antennas coming from it. And it could be like, oh no, the bad guy's getting away. And all we have is this mailbox. And the next thing you know, the mailbox is like all the pieces they've changed to the mailbox, or a hot dog cart. They've turned the hot dog cart and like a jet powered skateboard that they chase them down with.
Right.
So it's just like they can make, as long as they have materials, Anagram can change it into something else.
Right.
But it has to be a mechanical thing.
Yeah, like not on molecular level.
You can't turn a dog, Anagram can't turn a dog into a cat.
Right.
But can turn a car into a plane, or a plane into a boat, or
unless it's a robo dog.
Yeah, or a robo dog into a tank. Something like that. Maybe a small tank.
Right.
Like some size.
Conservation of matter.
Yeah. So.
Cool.
So I think that's anagram. And I got to use the term technomancer.
Okay, so this is also kind of interesting. So someone whose superpower is extreme and extreme moral support. Someone whose superpower is they can offer extreme moral support.
Oh.
But more than just when I see super support, like beyond anything that any therapist could do.
Like a bard, almost?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the hero should be called life coach.
Yeah.
Boy, I honestly think this person's costume wouldn't look like a costume at all.
Yeah.
Extreme moral support. I
Maybe
think they should
like
have,
a Mr. Rogers thing.
Yeah, like I think they should have like a shirt and maybe a necktie that isn't like all the way up. It's a little loose with the top button undone. And they're wearing either a sweater vest or a cardigan,
right?
And they have several lollipops in their front pocket, and if the person can't have sugar, they have maybe instead of lollipops, they have some nice herbal teas with them. They're just always prepared for whatever the situation is.
And like supervillains are unable to hate him no matter how much they want to.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm gonna...
Oh, and they have a fanny pack full. It's a Hammer Space fanny pack they wear that has whatever the situation needs to diffuse it.
Right.
But at the same time, they're almost aggressively kind.
Right.
Now just sit down. I'm just really angry right now, and just sit down now. Life coach is gonna help you out to the extreme. I mean, where'd that come from? Don't you matter? Like, and he the life coach never does the big to the extreme. They have like a hype man that is a puppet that does that, and the hype man looks kind of like Vin Diesel from the Fast and the Furious movies. And it's like anytime comes out, he'll just hype up how extreme. You're about to get real calm by the biggest expert ever of getting you to reach your goal.
Now, Hypey.
Yeah, Hypey, that's his name.
Yeah.
Hypey and life coach. And Hypey looks like a puppet, but is actually a sentient creature that just looks like a puppet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Would it still have to be on his hand, though?
You never know. You never see what it's connected to.
Oh, I suppose.
Hypey always conveniently comes out from around the corner or from behind a couch or something. Every time. Life coach and Hypey.
I love it.
By the way, how is stream for everybody? Is it sounding good? So just
it's so streamy.
Oh, you got a lot of them. Oh, it's just refreshing.
So Anagram, the Technomancer, life coach /
Flatline had
Hypey.
the paddles. Like.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're basically like brass knuckles, but paddles.
Yeah.
Connected to a defibrillator backpack.
So someone's asking.
We have now, after these two, we'll have drawn 11 superheroes during the stream, just so everyone realizes. Wow. That's pretty impressive from these two illustrators.
Well, I'm a doodler. You can call Alex an
All right.
illustrator.
The Doodler. That's another hero. They just sketch things on the side of the building, and then it's kind of like they can do things like the Roadrunner thing and make a tunnel and go through it. The Doodler.
That would be a super useful power. It's like almost broken.
Yeah. Well, why do you think that the Coyote can never catch the Roadrunner? He was OP. You need to be nerfed. You need to get a new FAQ.
So here's one from a while ago. So someone, and they then further clarified what that meant. They said power of over synchronization, and then what they meant by that is like they can perfectly mimic someone as they're doing something.
Who's this again?
Beatrice.
For what hero?
Just as someone who has that power, is they can perfectly mimic somebody, like as they're doing. So like they can perfectly match be in perfect sync with someone. So maybe that could be like temporarily gains their, like that'd be useful when fighting like a martial artist or something.
Sure. They have the Taskmaster in Marvel Comics. That's his superpower. So like as soon as he sees Spider-Man fight, he literally can duplicate and have the muscle memory to do most of Spider-Man's martial arts or Captain America's or Deadpool's. So when they fight them, they know all their moves and the moves of every other hero. So that's a thing established in real comics already.
Okay.
How do we put our own spin on it? Because Beatrice gave us money, so I don't want us to make Taskmaster. It's the main reason I brought up Taskmaster is I want us to not make Taskmaster. I want us to make something unique along those same lines.
He wasn't in a movie. Nobody knows him. No, that isn't.
He was a major player in the Civil War comic books. Right. So.
Well, let's think a name also. Maybe like. Well, I'm thinking like because can Taskmaster, do they like copy their powers or is it just kind of their movement?
He has photographic reflexes.
Okay. Like, because I'm wondering if like what if it's like a perfect 1-to-1 match, which isn't always useful, because like if someone's fighting a certain way, doing exactly the same thing isn't always the best.
Sure. Yeah.
How was it
useful?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Right. Or what if we did it the other way, where they say power of synchronization? What if it forces someone else to mimic them?
Oh, you just like you could just make them stop and start punching themselves or something. That could work. I mean, but that's kind of like that's mind control thing,
I suppose.
I'm not against it. I'm just trying to figure out a way we can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And all the names I'm thinking of already exist, so I'm just like, this is a very, like, being able to copy people or control people is a very common. I think that's most people's fears. Is everyone thinks they're original and unique. So I think that idea in comic books is very visceral. It's just like someone either copies you or takes control of you.
I got an idea. Okay, so what if let's go with we go with the Taskmaster powers, but we go from a different angle where at least make their characterization unique, where they not only sort of copy their movement style or something, but they also do like they are forced to do an imitation of their personality or voice or something. But it's like, maybe like an overly exaggerated or not a great impression. Like, someone copying Dark Cop and it's like, I'm Dark Cop and I don't like friends. And and then he copies Power Kid and it's like, oh gosh, everybody, hey, I don't want to start any fight or anything.
So it's kind of like a mock.
Yeah, like
mocker sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be like mocker.
Like mocker.
Yeah,
Mockingbird. Something like that.
Yeah, and like and that'd be also he'd kind of be like an annoying or like more of like a nuisance villain or hero because his imitation and thus his copying of their powers is never as good as the original.
What we call it?
Knockoff.
Knockoff.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Knockoff. Or mock-off.
Oh yeah, you couldn't spell it with an F.
Yeah.
All right, I got Ultraman.
Oh,
It's kind of big. Sorry, I had to switch to my bigger.
Oh wow.
I think that's my reaction to seeing all these actually.
Slap Ass might be my favorite. This is so ridiculous. Ultraman's really great because he's got pantaloons.
Yeah.
I love the ideas. The sound powers coming up from Ultraman. That's pretty great.
Yeah, or the Halo S.
I mean, that's the mind powers.
Right. Mime powers.
Did you want to take a look at Jagan?
Sure. Nice.
You know, probably almost see it from the main camera. Do the Vanna White.
Someone was talking about like knockoff doing Slothmaster. Like I'm almost imagining.
That's how they defeat him.
Yeah.
They're like they keep defeating us because they're copying Cop and everything. He's like, we can't defeat him. It's like, don't let Glyph near him. If he gets Glyph's magical powers, we're done for. Someone goes, I know. And they either put like Slothmaster or colorblind Kyle in front of him, and then suddenly he's just like, ha ha! Why is everything in grayscale? No! And all of a sudden, Power Kid just comes by and punches him out.
Or he's like so slow that even Slothmaster gets annoyed. Get on with it.
Yeah. Are you just gonna stand there all day?
There we go.
I'm also imagining him copying.
I actually kind of like that one.
It's like, hey, brah, what's up, bro? Instagram.
Yeah, they just get caught in a bro storm, a maelstrom of bro, or they just they just chat about Degrassi for 17 hours before they both fall asleep.
All right,
So there's my flat line. I kind of integrated the EKG lines into his armor a little bit.
that's pretty cool. This looks like he could totally have been made during the 90s.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This
Actually,
was on Rob
Yeah.
Liefeld's.
No, well, the legs are very well defined. So
I
it's not like
I did some boots that time. They're not very well defined boots, but they're boots, and you can tell they're boots. So
Yeah,
I did a good job.
it's good.
Thanks for your pity.
I like that.
Yeah. All right, I'll do.
Corn Crab says Ultraman looks like some sort of religious figure.
Potentially. Could be a cult.
The Church of Silence.
Oh, that was in a game. Which game was that? It was like literally a mind god, and it was terrifying.
My God.
Yeah.
That is terrifying. That thing you said.
So, what heroes do we have on the back burner?
We have Knockoff, We have Life Coach with his puppet sidekick, Hypey. We have Anagram, the Technomancer. And we have Truancy, the not actually a villain, but just a villain in PSA commercials with Commander Cobalt.
Like the cartoony kind of villain.
Yeah. So Truancy, Anagram, Life Coach with the Hypey, the puppet, and knockoff. We don't have any new backers. Tim Kuhn increased his pledge. So
Thank you,
on
Tim.
the stream.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you're on the stream, let us know, and we will draw your. Yeah. Oh.
What's up?
I believe Tim is corn crab.
If you are corn crab, please stand up. And sit back down because we
Don't
can't.
sue us, Eminem. All right.
I'm gonna start on knockoff actually.
Okay.
I like that concept.
All right. With Hypey! Yo, you're about to get Life Coach to the extreme.
It's so hype.
You're ready for some uplifting advice?
I have an important question. Can Life Coach be spelled with a Y?
Yes.
L-Y-F-E.
Sure.
Yeah.
Begrudgingly. And it was Hypey's idea.
Yeah.
And Life Coach, I'm just here to help people, Hypey.
Yeah.
But you got to market your brand, dog. Yeah.
All right.
Have some surge. It's extreme.
So yeah, corn crab, just make a comment about which one of your suggestions you want us to use. And while you do that, let's see what else we got.
What should I be working on, guys?
Do you want to work on?
If Corn Crab wants to pick one for you, he's given enough money extra to do it. If not, it's your choice between knockoff, anagram, and truancy. If we haven't done Broflake yet.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm keeping track of things.
Kind of want to stat all these guys up in an RPG or
I'll
something.
do like a real quick doodle of truancy while we're waiting here.
Okay. So Jacob's going to start working on truancy. Oh no, it's truancy! Quick, somebody call Commander Cobalt. Good on you kids. You know what to do when truancy rears his ugly head.
Corn Crab was requesting drawing Flake.
Broflake. Oh, okay.
And yeah, but also,
So we'll work on Broflake very soon, Corn Crab, since you gave us those ducats, as they say. Or pledge those ducats if we're successful. Right. That's the other thing, folks. Remember, this is Kickstarter is an all-or-nothing funding platform because we do need – the amount of money we're asking for is to make 2 episodes. You know, even with things come up, it's to pay our cast and crew. It's to do the nice special effects. It's to do the nice editing and color correction, film it in HD with nice lights and nice costumes and good fight choreography. That is what this money is going towards. And I lost my train of thought. So make it look good. But if we don't reach our goal, because we can't do it without that amount of money, we don't take any money unless we get the amount we're asking for. It's a very honest way of fundraising. Like Jacob and I, you can see on the Kickstarter, there's kind of a breakdown pie chart of where the money's budgeted to go. Is, you know, we don't want to do this for less than we can do it for properly. We don't want to do a poor quality project for you. It is unfair to the world we've built. It's unfair to you, our fans. We made something of less quality than we put out before. We want to make something at the very least as good quality as what has come before it. We want to actually improve. And we do know if we are able to pay our cast and crew, we can pull that off.
This Corn Crab suggestion. A sentient toupee who can possess people.
All right.
So, well, first I'm thinking, thing that comes to mind is I'm almost remembering the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror where the criminal's hair possesses people. So if we want to go in that thing, like, is the hair originally someone's who then they lost their toupee? Some crime boss's toupee? Or Or should it be like a space toupee? Like it came to Earth and it's actually like a brain parasite.
In one of the early seasons of Robot Chicken, they actually did a skit where William Shatner's toupee would leave his head at night and basically be a James Bond-esque spy, would save everything. And he saved the toupee, saved all these people in the morning, and gets another medal from like the president of France or something. Then William Shatner wakes up and pulls the medal off his hair. Is like, I keep getting these. He opens the drawer, it's full of medals. Tells him like the strangest thing. And it's like you can look at. So it's the William Shatner super toupee. Was done on Robot Chicken, but he was like a James Bond super spy.
Right.
And there's a scene of the toupee driving a speedboat with like bikini girls on it and stuff.
Right.
To like save the president or something.
So I'm almost thinking like this is like an alien invasion where these like
it's like a Skrull but in toupee form.
Yeah. Or if they just look like toupees from our perspective.
Yeah. The rugs.
Right. And it
there's a short that Toshiba made a couple of years ago in conjunction with Intel that's on YouTube. It's like a mini series. It has Harvey Keitel and Matt Walsh and a couple other like comedian people in it, called The Power Inside, the core concept of which is that barbers are the last line of defense against an evil group of aliens who are sentient mustaches that latch onto people and to control them. I swear I am not making this up. It's very real. It's kind of funny. It's also kind of dumb, and you get to see Harvey Keitel like throw wave after wave of straight razors at flying mustaches.
I have to check this out.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, I'm flashing back to that as you're describing
it's the power inside.
The power inside, because that was Intel's slogan at the time.
Yeah.
So
and it's basically just like a lot of Toshiba and Intel product placement.
And
with evil mustaches.
Right, yeah.
I like to imagine also they try to possess people, but they're like really bad at pretending to be humans.
What if they're instead of they take over people, but they're not, instead of evil, they're good. They want to, so they go to unassuming humans and help them become superheroes. They like give them powers and super strength. They give them the kind of standard bevy, super strength, flight, and vulnerability. You know, nothing else. Just those three. You know, the 1940 Superman suite. But it's only for periods of time. They can only work with one human. So these little toupees go around, and when they're needed to help someone, when someone needs the help, they'll just jump on it. But it doesn't work with someone who already has superpowers.
Right, and it doesn't work with someone who doesn't have baldness on their
head. And we could write
actual hair blocks their mind control power.
Well, we could have an episode where Dark Cop finds out about it, so he shaves his head because he needs to go and he like entices one of these. So for one day, Dark Cop has super strength and flight and vulnerability, and then he gets addicted to that power, and he keeps shaving his head and trying to entice. Like, I need the toupees every day, and then we have this lesson where he has to learn that he's always been the power to be a hero is inside you.
The toupee was on your head the whole time.
Yeah. Literally.
So, I mean, we could draw that, but it would just look like a toupee. So,
yeah.
I made a little doodle of truancy here. I kind of went like overboard on his headgear. It's like a giant. You'll see.
Best part is Alex is working on life coach and hype, and
man.
I like the idea that the puppet and life coach can talk at the same time, which is either super ventriloquism powered or the puppet is real and it just no one knows.
All right.
So yeah, he's got this big T on his hat, and then like
that's a T.
Really gross shades.
I thought for a second
he definitely has a goatee, right?
I thought there was
he's wearing like a wife.
Eyes.
Yeah, he has like a wife beater, hair sticking out. It's like a
those candy bars.
Yeah, and he has candy bars and a Game Boy to try and convince kids to stay away from school. And like giant scientist gloves.
Because science.
And a huge codpiece, because we want to make him as gross as possible.
Well, we want Commander Cobalt to punch him in the nuts a few times. So it's a big giant pet.
It's just practicality at that point.
Yeah, of course. Because he's just a stuntman doing his job to help educate children. He's not an actual super.
Blue Dragon says that the toupee thing sounds like the symbiote storyline.
You're not wrong.
That's the problem when you're doing superhero stuff. You run into a lot of The Simpsons did it,
right?
Kind of stuff. So even like things you suggest, I'm like, well, that sounds like this superhero or supervillain.
Or
that's awesome.
Or the Batman Venom story with a hairpiece instead of drug addiction. Did Batman get
have a big LC on his belt buckle?
Oh, he could, yeah. I'm doing a lot of belt buckles. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, 8.
So we have knockoff, anagram, the toupees, and Broflake. Oh, Tim paid and wanted to see Broflake drawn up if someone wants to do that.
I would, yeah. If they're gonna pay for it, I would love to have Alex do it because he like really good.
Or pledge for it.
Yeah.
We won't take money unless it's successful. We hope it's very successful.
Right. I got
also, if you paid enough to get a PDF, please send us a message saying which PDFs you.
We're just gonna post a gallery on the event on Facebook.
So okay. Never mind.
Anybody paid, yeah, we'll just whatever people picked, we'll post as a gallery.
Okay. There's Life Coach and Hypey.
I love how he has penny loafers. Or dock shoes, whatever they might be.
It feels kind of like a youth minister to me.
Oh, there's still paper left to draw on.
Oh, yeah, I was kind of having it.
Alex is maximizing his resources here. That was my guess.
Yeah. All right.
Side villain for
Broflake, he's a literal internet troll with the who-farted shirt.
Gotcha. Okay.
And he hulks out. He's a normal human, but when he hulks out, he turns into a troll. And his cargo pants rip and get a little tight, and his shirt gets tight with the bare, like, probably hairy, ugly troll belly button.
And I've, of course, drawing him hulked out.
Hulked out. And then he wears sandals with socks because he's an internet troll.
Yeah.
So his troll claws burst through the socks and then, like, overhang the sandals at the end and everything.
Gross, okay.
Yeah.
I like him.
So side villain for the clown character. So
which clown character? We made like 4 of them.
Yeah. I'm guessing you're talking about either Blifson or we have another clown, don't we?
We had the Clownfish Kid, and we had
from characters you've done tonight or characters in the show.
Yeah.
In the show.
Aaron, please specify on that.
I mean, I don't know if Blifson has enough pull to have a sidekick.
Yeah.
Or
the fact that Blifson gets
side villain.
Side villain.
Yeah.
Does anyone get?
I think his side villain is Dark Cop.
Or the Ringmaster. Or maybe it's a tiny car with like dozens of his friends inside. Got knockoff, anagram.
Yeah.
I'd like to see.
I'm indifferent.
I'd like to see knockoff.
Knockoff. Okay. Remind me of the power set.
He copies other people exactly.
Okay.
So but in kind of a mocking way. So we talked about the way to thwart him is by putting Slothmaster or.
Mm-hmm. But we didn't really talk about an outfit though.
No. I think his outfit should almost be like the human being from Community, very neutral.
Yeah. All right, so maybe not drawing him.
So I doodled PK earlier, so maybe I'll add him into the background, like mimicking.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think Blifson is important enough to have his own supervillain.
No. He's barely important enough to get to pass class.
Right.
Like he is definitely a C student at best.
Right. I guess his ultimate villain would be reality or responsibility. I don't know.
Yeah. Accountability. No, my only weakness. So Blifson, all you need to do when we signal on the radio is push this red button. Don't pull it before or after. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep. Oh my God, that's a lot, man.
Well, you know what?
How long will it be, man? The new episode of Game of Thrones comes out.
And, you know, I've stopped watching that show past the second season, but, you know, I really like to capture the gifts so I can spoil it for my friends.
God. What a-hole.
Hey, they should have read the books. They've been out for a while.
Well, this thing is past what I love. So, side note, while they're drawing to fill some time, I've read all of the Song and Fire and Ice books. And for the longest time, all the people who just watched the show, don't spoil it for us, book people, don't spoil it for us. And overall, book readers did a really good job of not spoiling it for people.
Yeah.
Now, we did put things like people's reactions because we knew the Red Wedding was going to devastate people. And we wanted to laugh at their misery at that shock. But as soon as the TV show went past the books, you know, the first people were to spoil stuff for me were the freaking TV watchers who never read the book. So they're like, I can spoil now. And they became spoiling didn't really start till the last season when they got past the books. And next thing you know, all the non-book readers are spoiling left and right. Sorry, minor rant. So that being said, the next time there's a book series and that comes a major TV show and people say don't spoil, I mean, I'm like, the book's been out for 15 years. Sorry. So maybe I'll do that to people with American Gods. Probably a good reason they're already diverging a lot from the books. So, that's a disgusting navel.
It's an amazing sentence to hear out loud.
I don't know. What should I
If
put?
you guys, instead of because maybe pitch us one or two ideas because we got a little bit of a backlog. Well, you're working on Knockoff and Broflake. That leaves us just Anagram. Why don't you pitch us a couple more so we have a couple more in the chamber? And then if you want to ask us any questions about pop culture or movies or show or superheroes, go for it.
Yeah. There were a couple back here. I'm just going through again.
There's a trilby.
Outreach.
And neckbeard.
Which I feel like I should put like a meme on his shirt, but I don't know what meme I should do.
I like the idea of who farted, but maybe a meme would be good.
A nurse named Patchwork. I'm almost thinking that'd be a supervillain. Like an insane scientist, it's like, I will patch you back together. Oh, let's just get various skins or fabrics. Like they start patching like different animal things to them.
Jeez.
Yeah. Here's your lollipop.
Meme Lord.
9,000.
Anyone who identifies themselves as a meme lord is definitely a troll.
All right, maybe that. Okay, maybe, yeah. Ghost gangster.
Ghost gangster.
So I'm thinking really just like a 1920s gangster. Like, yeah, see, you know, prohibition's gone, but we're gonna do the big time.
But he doesn't know he's dead. But he's an actual ghost.
Yeah, and it's like anytime he finds out, he's like, because he can't stay a ghost if he knows he's dead for some reason. So he's like, he just recycles himself, and he does the exact same crime every day because he keeps forgetting. And he like does things that aren't illegal anymore. Like he keeps trying to like steal booze to put on like
or he
set up
tries
speakeasies.
Yeah. So let's knock off mocking Power Kid.
Yeah, we got him up there.
So we have Power Kid there, and you can see Knockoff.
Yeah. I put him like basically in like a black like bodysuit, and then like he puts on other chunks of costume, but then his mask is like his own mask thing. And like he
only takes like one element from their costume every time.
Well, he's got the jeans and then the hoodie like Power Kid has.
You'd have to have some kind of extra dimensional space machine to be able to pull that off.
Yeah.
Which is, totally possible with superheroes.
Oh my god, I forgot about Loras Master.
It's pretty great.
Actually, this is a sort of someone brought up an idea, but kind of good. Ghost Gangster's could be Moonbeam's arch nemesis, so she has to send like ghosts of like former gangster hunters,
Prohibition officers.
Yeah, to take him down.
Treasury Department, I think they have from.
Right.
Got the pockets on. Gotta have the pockets.
Oh, so good.
This might be my favorite so far. It's Bro Flake. His catchphrases, but all points of view are equal.
And we'll give him a little bit of hair.
Yeah, he needs some hair on that belly button. Trap that lint in there.
Someone who anything they touch with their hands become instantly unrecognizable. So a name they suggested was Befuddled, but
that's not a superpower. That's a curse.
Right.
A person can't eat. They can't hug people.
Because being a superhero
that's not a hero. That's not even useful. That's like worse than Rogue.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
just trying to turn this gun. I just want to pick up this gun and kill myself, and I turned into a fish. Like that's horrible.
I was almost thinking they become like mosaic or really blurry, which I guess could be useful if you want to hide something.
But I mean, if they can't turn it off, if it's everything they touch, that person can't be a hero. That person has to be quarantined. Like, no, you can't touch this supply of vaccines.
And that's why they became a supervillain.
But then it was like they can't even. Oh, behold, my lair just turned. It's like I can't even hide out in the lair.
What if it's only if they touch it with their hands then?
So they have to wear gloves.
Yeah, and when they take the.
So Rogue.
Yeah, but instead of draining their powers, it makes them all blurry and After Effectsy.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Ghost Gangster. I'm digging Ghost. I like the idea of someone in a zoot suit and all, but you don't see their legs because it's got your traditional like flowy ghost stuff. And I really like Ghost Gangster.
I got Bro Flake.
Bro Flakes might be the best of the evening so far.
I think Slap Ass is also.
Slap Ass is up there too.
Yeah.
I want to see
them team up.
Bro Flake and Slap Ass, the ultimate asshole team.
All right, so Bro Flake, misspelled obviously. So no wait.
Me Lord.
So, do you want the paper back?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Or if you're not going to draw, we're just going to stack it.
Yeah, we'll stack
Yeah, and I like the idea of like him being completely out of touch with, like, has such a simplistic view of crime now. And, like...
Hey, you see, you need some money, let's just rob a bank, see? They have... And then he discovers that's where he has great power because cameras and all can't pick him up because he's a ghost. And he just float right through into the vault and everything. He gets excited. And he realizes he can't physically pick up the money. Yeah. And he gets released. Or he does. He puts it. He tries to pass through the wall. The sack of money stops. And he can't get through. He's like, oh, see?
And all of his sidekicks all have like weird gangster names like Two Toe Tapper and...
Yeah. Willie Shoeshine. You tell him, Willie Shoeshine.
That's such a weird name.
We shine shoes.
Barbecue Squid just donated.
Thank you, Barbecue.
Awesome. Let us know if you have an idea you want to see.
So, are you lowly Goose Shimai on Kickstarter?
How much did they pledge?
$10.
Cool. So yeah, that's.
Which is great. Like the thing is, like, even if your friends, like I say, when I get 10 friends and stuff, they're like, oh, we could give them like $10 or $15. It totally makes a difference because crowdfunding is about using that crowd, and also the more pledges we get, no matter the dollar amount, makes our campaign more visible in all the different Kickstarter algorithms and search things. So just pledges in general help, no matter what the dollar amount.
So yeah, barbecue squid. Just let us know
which one are you working on.
I'm doing
an idea
regs.
if you want to see.
The what?
The regs.
To answer a question, yes, of course, the Ghost Gangster would have a Ghost Tommy gun.
Yeah, of course.
It
not
only
there
works.
yet, but
It only works on ghosts.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to draw the Ghost Tommy gun.
Well, you can just draw a ghost violin case. We know from the implication.
Yeah. Okay, villain who has a gun that turns things into plastic. Kind of, I guess, Golden Glider-esque, but it makes it plastic instead.
So you can like shoot a building, get it. How much does it affect? Does it make the whole building plastic? We got to establish these rules.
I mean, I'm imagining, it's like kind of a beam that everything the beam hits. So
so it can turn someone into plastic.
Yeah, but it would take a while. Which is pretty scary, actually.
So can people be turned back, or they're basically being killed by turning into Madame Tussauds House of Wax figures, but they're plastic?
Yeah. I mean, I'd imagine, it'd be the kind of thing, like if you get them into the anti-plastic vat of chemical goo.
You gotta get the spray.
Yeah.
The anti-plastic spray. This
right.
like the anti-shark repellent.
Right.
And spray it on them and then turn back to normal.
It's like or the bat that Batman had.
Maybe the motivation. So this villain, I'm liking it, is the main motivation because they want their own life-size action figure collection.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, I must complete for my collection. And well, if it was an episode of Super Academy, a whole bunch of classic superheroes have gone missing.
Mm-hmm.
Like renowned, famous ones. Because they've all, he's this plastic, what do we call this? Mint condition.
Ooh,
that's the name of the villain. Mint condition, and his motivation is purely selfish. He doesn't want to end the world. He wants all of these. They must be mine. I want to be able to play with Commander Hero and like all our different the Justice League of the world, which we haven't created yet or put tons of thought in yet, but maybe one day if we have the budget. And then our Super Academy heroes have to go and stop him and save all the classic heroes. That would be cool. I think mint condition should. I think you should have a pair of like the glasses, like the jeweler's glasses that have the different lens that come by, so we can inspect things very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the gun should look combination, kind of like a super soaker almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it sprays like a compound on them that turns them into plastic.
Mm-hmm.
It has like a reservoir either on it or on like a backpack or these hip canisters that have the chemical.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has like maybe like a rubber suit, almost like or a clean room suit, kind of like the old school Intel commercials where they were dancing and working on the microchips. So he has that but we could have the hood down of the clean suit with the glasses. I imagine this being a balding dude and everything with maybe a pencil thin mustache, and he has the glasses with it on there, and he has this spray gun system, and he
the gun is made of plastic too.
The gun is made out of plastic. He has calipers when he turns people to plastic. He's making sure they're perfect and everything. Like he's trying to set them up in poses, and he actually hires other minor villains. Like he probably works with the punster a lot, or other villains to have them stage like bank robberies and all. So these heroes show up to thwart it, and he always tries to get them in a heroic pose. And he gets upset if he gets them in a like not a so. If it's like no, they're making a funny face. I can't use it, and they'll just chuck the plastic. Like they're like they first discover and they find like the plastic remains of some hero in an alley, and they get it. And they're like Dark Cop has to study to figure out how to reverse the condition and everything. So this could be Dark Cop is working on the scientific solution and everything. Meanwhile, Glyph and Power Kid have to just figure out what's going on, how to stop them, and maybe they try and they have to work with a bunch of, because all of this mint condition has captured all the big time heroes, and they're sad that there's no one worth turning into plastic anymore. Sadly, my collection is complete. And they thought when the collection was complete, they'd be happy and fulfilled, and they're not. So what they do is they convince Starburst to turn into a supervillain to start robbing banks and everything. And they start staging a whole bunch of stuff where they fight him and Starburst is in on it. Starburst is actually doing this to help. They convince Starburst to do it because he'll be on the front page in the newspaper all the time. So they work with the media and everything is like, and they even come up with a different villain name for Starburst. And it's like they always thwart Starburst, but they get away. So it gets Mint Condition's attention. The Mint Condition comes to turn Power Kid and Glyph into plastic because of the setup. And then the next thing you know, it's basically about showing off the D team, if you will. And as they're about to turn Power Kid and Glyph into plastic, out comes, Starburst like rips off his mask for this villain personality, and his Starburst mask is somehow underneath there. And Bliffson and Colorblind Kyle and Slothmaster come out. It's like, you didn't expect us, did you? And they stop Mint Condition. I just made a small episode of Super Academy there. Just gave a pitch. But I did a description of Mint Condition in there while we're at it. They're supposed to help people and turn them into superheroes. That's terrifying.
Well, they can do that and still look kind of scary, right? Or is
I
too
guess.
much?
I don't know. It's kind of like the Ben 10 syndrome, where a lot of those aliens in Ben 10 kind of look like bad guys and super evil.
Here, so Barbecue Squid clarified the villain that makes things unrecognizable, where and since you donated, hold on, we have the Ghost Gangster.
It's kind of like Gentleman Ghost from Batman.
Yeah. So I know the Tommy gun is in kind of a weird space, but I found a reference image that I could pull from there. So it's kind of like an under the arm thing. And he's got like the empty eyes, just like smoke pouring off of him and stuff.
Cool.
Definitely that actor would have to wear green screen pants. So on the muddle stuff up.
Okay. Well, this one's pretty simple. Barbecue, and then Barbecue Squid will also, since he donated, go look at it again. The distortion misinterpreted it slightly, but his idea is someone named who can store anything in a pocket dimension, but the weakness is that it's very unorganized. So basically, I guess like a bag.
Random where it shows up.
Yeah, so he has like this attic of everything, but he can't like find anything because when he does it, it just drops in the pocket dimension. Like it's not organized anything.
I didn't know this character already. It's called Pat Rack or Rat Pack.
Pack Rat.
Pack Rat. Yeah.
This guy's Rat Pack.
Head injury.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pack Rat packs everything away.
Uh-huh.
Everything. I think more of a neutral. Neither hero nor villain after their own kind of. Honestly, I think half rat, half man, like a man rat, if you will.
Yeah.
Has clothing and vests, and basically everything. It's just a vest with all kinds of pouches on it.
Oh my god!
So we have our sentient toupees.
Yeah, and
some great dialogue.
So Pat Rack has pants in several bags and pouches. He has like multiple bags of holding type thing. Can't remember where they keep things.
Hold on for a second.
But conveniently has things for when they need it.
So
but they have to search for it. Oh, I got something for it. I got something.
It's like, we got the one weapon that can stop the villain. Okay. And he pulls out like a frying pan. Wait, hold on. Nope. How? Hold on a sec.
I know you have scenes where they're just pulling various random things, like
a
troll doll, and I got it! Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's sticky. Here you go. But I like him being like a rat, kind of.
So it is also 9 o'clock. So we can certainly keep going, but we want to.
I think I'm gonna have to call it a night because it's about physically I'm running on fumes.
Sure.
Well, how about let's give it a couple more. If anyone wants to do some
Sure.
last minute pledges,
Yeah.
If you make some pledges, we'll keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
If
we get $50 donated in the next 10 minutes, we'll go till 10. How about that?
Awesome. Yeah.
Is that a deal?
I'm good with that.
I just wanted to. So barbecue squid. So his thing about not making things unrecognizable is not making it blurry or something, but it's just everyone in the area, like when they touch something, everyone in the area forgets what that thing does. Like if they pick up a pen, they're like, I don't know what pens are, or something. That could be like kind of
sure,
like
but if they can't turn it off, that's still not a power. That's a curse.
Well, okay, they can turn it off. It doesn't specify if they can or can't turn it. I'm just. It's kind of like I imagine this character could be, sort of a mental
it's called
trickster.
Deja Vu. That's the name of the character.
Yeah.
They're like, this seems familiar, but I can't place what it is. We're like, that's a pencil, stupid. What's a pencil?
Right.
I think I remember something like a pencil, but I can't place it. But like, you can't erase it entirely. They're just befuddled.
Right.
But
well, and that could be the thing where, like, to use that more, like perhaps the heroes are trying to break through a door or like to enter somewhere, and then he grabs a doorknob somewhere else, watching them, and then they're like, shit, how do we open this door? What is this thing?
Or just causes temporary mind loss.
Yeah.
I guess we have to break it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what Dark Cop would do. Power would kick it.
Oh god, if he made him forget what a computer was, that would be devastating.
Yeah.
Was this like a TV?
Oh, so that villain's name is Memory Lapse.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Pack Rat, Mint Condition.
Or maybe Taboo, because it makes, like, I'm tabooing this object.
Well, taboo kind of means it's like everyone knows it exists, but it's not considered proper to talk about.
I suppose.
Like Memory Lapse, maybe.
You just lapse.
So yeah, we're gonna go for another 5 minutes unless some pledges come in.
Yep. So we got Pack Rat, which is the rat man with all kinds of pouches and bags and pockets that has tons of disorganized hammer space. I'm gonna come
What
on.
do you want to jump on, Alex?
Yeah, look good. I might do. I guess I'll do Pack Rat.
Ooh, Fugue. That is the name.
Yeah.
Oh, Fugue State.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just Fugue. That would be the name of like the making people forget things. I think. And what would Fugue look like?
I think I might try and draw a Fugue here. I'm kind of picturing like stiff, skinny, like Doug Jones builds person with like a black turtleneck.
Yeah.
It's like very low key.
What if he had the little hypnotism pendulum thing? Maybe. Or a tuning fork, one or the other. Like he hits the tuning fork and he can affect someone. One or the other. Send them to the sunken place.
All right.
So we got Pack Rat and Fugue being worked on. See, we came to it. The
That
person
page is still so terrifying.
Yeah, I'm loving Slap Ass. I would totally cosplay as Slap Ass, but literally no one would get that costume except the three of you and however many of you are on the stream. But the chances of you being at a convention with me.
Just don't go too into character if you did.
Yeah, no way. I was like, why am I being removed from this con?
No, but it's accurate to the lore.
So I think, if anyone wants to ask us any questions, pop culture, Super Academy, or whatnot, go for it. And while Alex and Jacob sketch away here.
Yeah. someone who can turn into graffiti painting on the wall, so it can turn into 2D along a wall surface and then become 3D again. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't think we could do it with our budget, but that would be really freaking cool.
Yeah. It's kind of like Link Between Worlds. It's a Zelda game where we can do that.
Just call them tag, because graffiti artists talk about tagging things.
That's good.
It's called a superhero tag.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, I like typically short to the point names myself. So graffiti, shape shifting, I guess.
So what do you guys think of the San Diego Comic-Con news this year? Which we were actually talking about before the stream.
Thor Ragnarok is so that I am a huge cinephile for specifically genre films, mostly from the 70s and 80s. And Thor Ragnarok looks like a superhero love letter to those. That soundtrack, that synth pop soundtrack we hear, sounds like something from a John Carpenter film. That bright color palette, the kind of buddy cop feel between Thor and Hulk. That might be the most excited I've ever gotten for a Marvel movie trailer ever. I'm really digging it. I'm excited about Black Panther as well. What I like about both of these movies, my one complaint about a lot of the Marvel movies is the coloration or color correction. The end is kind of boring. It's not bad. They don't like ignore color. There is color and everything. It's just not as bright and high contrast as I would love. You know, I want colors that remind me of Jack Kirby comics myself in superhero movies. And I don't think any superhero movie has done that yet, with maybe Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 coming close to that. But I really want to see them ramp it up. And from what I've seen in both the Thor Ragnarok and the Black Panther trailer, it looks like they're really tough. And it's noted these two movies are the first two they started using a new camera on. They're using the newest high-end red cameras on Thor Ragnarok and Black Panther. They had been using Arri Alexas for all the others. So maybe the shift in camera, they're giving them more depth of field and everything to do more color correction. So as a cinephile, I'm excited for that. Stranger Things Season 2 looks really cool. Looks like they're upping the ante on the other dimension stuff and everything, rather than just like local, government experiment thing gone wrong. They're upping the Cthulhu-esque vibe. I do hope Stranger Things Season 2 relies less on the best-known references of the 80s. That was my only complaint. It's like, look, see, there's a John Carpenter poster. There's Ghostbusters. There's a new trailer. I hope they actually hit on some more obscure or less mainstream 80s references, because right now that just seems kind of lazy, honestly, on the part of Stranger Things.
That's such a paradox, mainstream 80s reference.
Yeah, well, I mean, but there's plenty of things. If they did a little more research, they could find more things, and then fans could have fun with those Easter eggs. But they go with the things that are most easily recognizable. So I enjoy Stranger Things. I just think they could do a better job of that. I think the acting and writing is great, and the storytelling is fantastic. It's more of the references and the details I wish they'd do a little better, but that's looking great. Justice League looked decent too, so and which I'm hopeful for. I would love to see good Justice League. What else came out from?
So actually, well, here I'm going to pick a nut. And I can sort of answer this. Do you take more inspiration from DC or Marvel in the series? So I think it depends on what area. I think at least the way superheroes are treated is more DC-ish, where
very Marvel, classic DC, not DCEU.
Right.
More like Batman 66 and Batman animated series and the Justice League animated series.
Right. And with Marvel, it's where just how they treat, like secret identity. Like in this series, secret identities we'd never even go into. And I think that's a thing in DC. It's like, have these larger than life hero characters, and then their human things aren't as important, where Marvel, they treat the human element way bigger, I think.
To a point, but I mean, having a secret identity is a huge part of both Batman and Superman.
I suppose.
Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne are as well known as their superhero counterparts. But yeah, it's very much classic. We take a lot of inspiration, I think, from Golden Age superheroes a lot, with some more modern attention to like dialogue and things. There's a lot of teen drama, school drama in what we write, which is, fun. So I say John Hughes films are also probably, at least when I write and think, they're a bit of an inspiration for me, the characters. But also with the Glyph character, when Jacob and I talking about it, that took a lot of inspiration from the cosmic stories from Marvel, though. Glyph definitely comes from the inspiration of like your Doctor Strange and your Doctor Strange, your Jack Kirby, Silver Surfer, cosmic stuff. So when Jake and I were talking about it, it was like that's definitely something that came from that. I know I'm actually so. Those have been strange. Jake and I are very critical of the DCEU movies, not because we hate DC. It's because we're disappointed because we're big DC. I love DC and I love superhero stories. I like some of my favorite, almost all of my favorite supervillains come from the DC universe, whereas most of my favorite heroes come from the Marvel universe. But I like both. I like a good story, and I love a good story of people in tights fighting. I just want the story to be good. And the reason DCEU movies are disappointing, they're not good stories or they're not enjoyable. They forgot that comics and all their escapism are there to have fun. And for the most part, Marvel's gotten that right. The one thing I would love to see, apparently Michael Pena did a whole summary of the Marvel MCU at the Marvel panel in the character from Ant-Man about everything coming up.
Oh,
and I would pay a lot of money to see that, because that was one of my I love the Ant-Man movie a lot. I really, really enjoyed the humor and everything, but the Michael Pena roundabout stories and everything were amazing. I would love to see, before Infinity Wars come out, them release a YouTube video of him basically summing everything up that's happened to date in the MCU. That would be really cool.
So this is...
I'm also really excited about the news about the Captain Marvel movie being set in the 90s, involving the Skrulls as the bad guys. I always thought the Skrulls were really cool and kind of terrifying. So, yeah.
I got a pack rat too.
Okay.
Sweet. I think we're going to wrap up here, folks, because it's been 10 minutes. And
this is Fugue. Anything he touches, you forget what it is.
I put in the
he looks like a
pendulum
yuppie.
as requested. He looks like what?
A yuppie, like very proper.
Yeah.
Like he definitely drives a vintage Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah.
And here's Pack Rat. Pack Rat came out really good.
We all forgot what a Mercedes-Benz was. Ooh, that'd be very evil. So Pack Rat. Yeah. Basically has hammer space inventory, but just very bad inventory management skills. All right. So yeah, you guys want to say something? We're gonna wrap up here.
Yeah, I mean, again, the only way that this thing happens is if we get people to fund it. So
yeah, we're about 25% funded, which means we have 75% of the way to go, and about 10 days to do it. It's very doable. We need a big push. Tell your friends, tell your family, get them. Just don't tell them. Ask them to donate. Hot Chocolate Media is not going away. We still have our podcast. Mm-hmm. We'll figure out. We'll do something else. We'll probably do short films, but we really want to do Super Academy.
Yeah,
it's a fun world, but doing superhero stuff between costumes and special effects ain't cheap.
Yeah.
So we need your help.
And then special thanks again to Alex Fukui for joining us.
Did awesome art.
Please check out his art elsewhere outside of the stream as well. It is really great, and you should do that.
And if people want to find us individually, you can follow our website at hotchocolatemedia.net or the Hot Chocolate Media Facebook page or Twitter account, which I believe just Hot Chocolate. You search for both. You can find me on Twitter at KB Decker. I'm pretty active on Twitter. I said if you're in the Twin Cities, Jacob and I co-wrote a play that'll be in the Minnesota Fringe Festival that opens on August 3rd called Waiting for Gygax, which is a Dungeons & Dragons parody of Waiting for Godot. We've got a really awesome cast. It's really funny. We're doing a preview tomorrow night. So if you're in the Twin Cities, go to the Fringe preview. You'll see the first 3 minutes of Waiting for Gygax. So yeah. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Pledge to the show, and have a good evening.
Yep.
Bye.
Keep waving. I need to figure out how to stop this.
Oh no! Oh no! We're trapped.
It's like the end of it's Little House on the Prairie. Can we play the Little House? Play us out, or we're just waving?
Cancel.
This?
Stop. Please, Ben. Please.